Earth slumbered under a canopy of stars, unaware of the peril that loomed above. In the silent expanse of space, massive vessels emerged, their surfaces rippling with cloaking technology so advanced they seemed to vanish against the void. The Galactic Empire had arrived, a force known across the cosmos for its ruthless efficiency. For them, Earth was another nameless planet, ripe for plundering. Commander Zarnath stood on the bridge of the lead ship, his reptilian features twisted in a confident smirk. The holographic projection of Earth spun slowly before him. "Primitive," he muttered. "Their defenses will crumble before they even realize they're under attack." Around him, alien officers barked commands, synchronizing the invasion plan. This was no war. It was extermination by precision. The first strike came with a whisper. Satellites went dark, their signals smothered by alien technology. Earth cities, glittering jewels of light, flickered and died as power grids collapsed. Panic spread like wildfire, but to the invaders, it was inconsequential noise. They had seen it before on countless worlds, the fear of beings too small to fight back. High above, the alien ships deployed surgical strike drones. Silent as shadows, they infiltrated key locations, military bases, communication hubs, energy plants. The drones moved with mechanical precision, their metallic frames glinting faintly in the moonlight. Entire regions were plunged into chaos, their command structures severed in mere minutes. Zarnath watched the operation unfold with satisfaction. Every maneuver was executed flawlessly. His species had honed their tactics over centuries, conquering planets far more advanced than this. Earth was beneath his notice, a mere stepping stone to greater galactic conquests. Yet, something gnawed at the edges of his certainty. The humans were disorganized, yes, but their resistance, scattered though it was, held a peculiar determination. Reports trickled in of unexpected disruptions. A convoy of drones went offline over a dense forest. A communications array was obliterated before a strike team could disable it. Zarnath dismissed the anomalies, attributing them to minor glitches. But in a darkened room far below the surface of Earth, someone was watching. Banks of monitors bathed the space in a pale glow, each screen displaying an aspect of the unfolding chaos. A hand reached out, adjusting a frequency to pick up the faint energy signals of the cloaked alien vessels. "They think we're blind," a gravelly voice said, more to himself than anyone else. He keyed a secure channel, one that bypassed the disrupted networks. The message was brief and coded, meant for a select few who had trained for this very moment. Across the globe, hidden bunkers and isolated locations stirred to life. Quiet alarms buzzed, summoning figures from the shadows. The Galactic Empire believed it had struck a defenseless planet. But Earth was not as naive as it appeared. In the silence before the storm, humanity's true defenders prepared to meet the invaders. A secure command center deep beneath the surface buzzed with activity as a team of operators processed data. Above ground, Earth appeared chaotic, but below, the real fight was about to begin. The encrypted message had reached its intended recipients, activating a program so secret that even many world leaders were unaware of its existence. Captain Elias Carter sat in the back of a stealth transport, reviewing the data on a portable screen. His face was calm, but his mind worked rapidly. Years of training had prepared him for this moment. Across from him, Lieutenant Mira Chang adjusted her equipment, her fingers flying across a console. "They're using cloaking tech," she said, not looking up. "But it's not perfect. They're leaking energy, just a trace, but enough." "Good," Carter replied. "We'll need every advantage we can get." Elsewhere, Sergeant Luke Ortiz was busy loading specialized equipment into a reinforced case. Explosives, EMP devices, and a few experimental weapons were laid out with precision. "They've got the tech," Ortiz muttered, "but we've got the tricks." He looked up, grinning. "This is going to be fun." The team assembled quickly, their movements practiced and efficient. Each member of this unit had been chosen not just for their skills, but for their ability to think outside the box. They weren't just soldiers, they were problem solvers, capable of adapting to the unknown. As the transport lifted off, Mira displayed a map on the central holoprojector. "We've identified the likely command structure for the invasion," she explained. "They're coordinating from orbit, but their ground teams are relaying data from key locations. If we disrupt their network, we can force them to make mistakes." Carter studied the map, his sharp eyes catching details others might have missed. We'll hit their relay stations, he decided. Luke, you'll handle demolitions. Mira, find a way to jam their communications. We need to blind them, even if it's temporary. The transport descended into the night, silent and undetectable. Inside, the team prepared for battle. Mira worked on a portable device, modifying it to interface with alien systems. Their encryption is complex, she said, frowning, but not impenetrable. I can override their local networks if I get close enough. Ortiz double-checked his gear, his movements methodical. EMP charges should knock out their drones. We'll need to get in and out fast before they adapt. Carter listened, absorbing the information without interrupting. Finally, he spoke, his voice steady and commanding. This isn't just about survival. If we succeed, we'll send a message, not just to them, but to anyone watching. Humanity doesn't fold under pressure. The transport touched down near a forested area, hidden from prying eyes. The team moved out, their dark uniforms blending into the night. Each step was calculated, every breath controlled. They were humanity's first and last line of defense, prepared to face an enemy far beyond their understanding. And they wouldn't back down. Not now. Not ever. The team advanced through the dense forest, their movements synchronized and silent. Captain Carter led the way, his sharp eyes scanning for any signs of the enemy. Lieutenant Chung followed closely, a small device in her hands emitting a faint hum as it tracked the alien energy signals. Behind them, Ortiz carried the equipment necessary for their sabotage mission, his steps deliberate but confident. They reached the edge of the clearing where one of the alien relay stations had been set up. The structure was sleek and metallic, its surface pulsing with an eerie light. Drones hovered around it, scanning the area with mechanical precision. Carter gestured for the team to halt, raising a hand to signal a quick strategy. Chung tapped her device and whispered, "The relay is linked directly to their orbital command. If we take it out, it'll disrupt their entire communication chain in this sector." Ortiz grinned. "And that's where I come in." Carter nodded, signaling for Chung to start jamming the drones. She crouched behind cover, her fingers dancing over the controls of her handheld device. A faint pulse of energy rippled through the air, and one by one, the drones began to falter. Their movements grew erratic before they dropped to the ground, disabled. "Go," Carter ordered. Ortiz moved quickly, planting the EMP charges around the base of the relay. The alien structure emitted a low hum, as if aware of the intrusion. A door opened on its side, and several alien soldiers emerged, their weapons drawn. Carter didn't hesitate. He raised his rifle and fired, his shots precise and deadly. The alien soldiers returned fire, their weapons emitting bright streaks of energy that seared through the air. Ortiz ducked behind cover, finishing his task while Carter provided cover fire. Chung, still focused on her device, managed to breach the relay's network. "I'm in," she called out. "Downloading their tactical data now." "Make it quick," Carter replied, taking down another alien soldier with a well-placed shot. The aliens regrouped, deploying small, spider-like machines that scuttled across the ground toward the team. Ortiz grabbed a fragmentation grenade from his belt and hurled it into their path. The explosion sent shards of metal flying, disabling the machines before they could reach their target. "I love my job," Ortiz muttered, grinning as he moved back to Carter's side. Chung finished extracting the data and disconnected her device. "Got what we need," she said. "Let's blow this thing and move." Ortiz activated the EMP charges, and the team retreated to a safe distance. The charges detonated in a burst of electromagnetic energy, the alien relay collapsing in a shower of sparks. The remaining drones and machines in the area shut down instantly, their systems fried. As the dust settled, Carter looked at his team. One relay down. Plenty more to go. They melted back into the shadows, leaving behind the smoldering remains of the relay station. The Galactic Empire would know now that Earth wasn't as helpless as they'd assumed, and the fight was far from over. The first light of dawn crept over the horizon, casting long shadows across a world scarred by conflict but far from broken. Across cities and towns, people emerged cautiously, their confusion giving way to quiet determination. Broadcasts had been re-established, and though they were sparse and shaky, they carried a clear message: humanity was fighting back. In a secure underground facility, Captain Carter stood before a large table displaying a holographic map of Earth. Red markers indicated areas still under alien control, but there were fewer than before. Beside him, Cheng analyzed the tactical data she'd extracted from the relay. Her face was lit with a mix of exhaustion and satisfaction. "They're retreating," she reported, tapping the screen to highlight the movement of alien forces. "The disruption we caused forced them to pull back and regroup. They weren't expecting coordinated resistance." Ortiz leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. "Guess we gave them a little more than they bargained for." Carter nodded, his gaze fixed on the map. "We've shown them that Earth isn't just another conquest. But this isn't over. They'll adapt, and they'll come back stronger." Chung turned toward him, her expression resolute. "We adapt too. The data I recovered includes schematics of their tech, weapon systems, cloaking devices, even their communication protocols. If we can reverse engineer it, we'll be better prepared for the next wave." Above ground, the remnants of the alien invasion fleet began to retreat into orbit. From their command ship, Commander Zarnath stared at the planet below, his expression unreadable. Reports of their failure were streaming in, each more damning than the last. Earth had been underestimated, a mistake that would not be repeated. He turned to his second-in-command. "Initiate withdrawal. We'll regroup and reassess." "But sir," the officer hesitated, "shouldn't we?" "No," Zarnath interrupted, his tone icy. "This is not a loss we can afford to compound. They're not the prey we thought them to be." On Earth, Carter and his team prepared for their next steps. Supplies were restocked, plans were updated, and the weight of their success pressed heavily on their shoulders. They had won a battle, but the war was far from over. In a rare moment of quiet, Carter addressed his team. "They'll regroup. They'll come back. And when they do, we'll be ready. Not just us, but the whole world. What we've started here, it's bigger than this mission. It's about showing them, and anyone else watching, what humanity is capable of." Ortiz smirked. "They picked the wrong planet." Chung smiled faintly, though her focus remained on her screen. "Next time, they won't have the element of surprise." The team shared a moment of silent understanding before dispersing, each returning to their respective tasks. They were warriors, defenders, but more than that, they were a symbol of Earth's resilience. As the first stars of the night appeared in the sky, Carter stood outside the facility, looking up. The battle had scarred the planet, but it had also united its people in a way nothing else could have. And in the vastness of space, Earth now stood as a beacon, a warning that humanity would not be conquered without a fight.